Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Laurent Boukobza and today I will present and play the Fantaisie-Impromptu number 4 by Chopin in C# minor. I want to dedicate this video to a member of my family. His name is Liam. And I want to say that Liam, I'm very proud of you. So keep on the great work you're doing. Before the presentation, I need to remind you of my music camp. It's going to be next to Paris in Joinville-le-Pont from July 8th to July 16th, as you can see on the brochure right now that's in front of you. In Bruges, Belgium, from July 24th to July 31st. Please sign up as soon as possible as the deadline is approaching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so like that you won't miss the next videos. And let's now listen to that Fantaisie-Impromptu by Chopin. Like the toccata from Schumann I played previously, you can watch on the toccata playlist right there. You'll notice that that piece ends in a very soft way when it was very tumultuous, and it's agitato. Some details about this impromptu you might not know. Chopin asked specifically to Fontana, who's the one who published that piece posthumously, that means after Chopin died, that piece not to be called Fantaisie-Impromptu, but just Impromptu. But that's the name we have now, because it was published by Fontana before the text. Actually, that's the first impromptu Chopin composed. And we're gonna see that Chopin is using a bel canto technique. I'm gonna demonstrate now how he loves the bel canto and the idea of embellishment of a note. So we start with that big G sharp. That seems to not have a tempo, although it's a cut time. Cut time means 2 beats per measure and not 4. And then that series of arpeggio. That is very specific of Chopin. Also, don't forget to look at my Chopin playlist. It's in the gift. I never explained Chopin yet, so I'm going to be very detailed. Chopin doesn't like chords to be played like this, because it's too blocked. So what he liked to do is to spread them in a tenth. So instead of, that sounds very bulky, he does. The same concept of harmony extends the hand enormously and gives like a broader sound. That technique of the tenths and the opening of the left hand comes actually from the nocturnes. Chopin used this and embodied it so beautifully and gorgeously that we remember the nocturne from Chopin. But the first person was Field, F-I-E-L-D. So we have from the very beginning that opening of the hands for the chord. The right hand, I'm going to go slowly. Notes that turns around the main notes. Listen to the main notes of that first run. We have a G sharp and a C sharp, and then 2 notes to finish. Now I show you what's written around it. That's the bel canto idea. We embellish these notes. We have, and then the main note is a C sharp in here, and that turns around it, and then to finish. Repeat that. Now a chord that extends instead of a scale. So that is turning around the main notes I'll show you. So around the E, around the C, around the G, then repeat, and then repeat. In the Beethoven Sonata, the Moonlight Sonata, the last movement, we have the exact same run. Watch the playlist, of course, of the 32 Beethoven Sonata that I explained and recorded. At the end of the third movement, we have this. And then in our cadenza. That's Beethoven. But it's true that those notes are the exact same that Chopin used. So people say, well, the God inspired. It's actually true. And then repeat. Modulate. So now we turn around the same note but with different harmonies. Then turn around the note. So we're playing a G sharp minor chord, but turn around. You see that works? So when you play that fast, we don't necessarily hear it that way. But you don't realize this is just a bunch of turns back to back to back. Something very difficult for a younger pianist is that the left hand is in triplets, but the right hand is in 16th. So that means we have 4 notes at the right hand for 3 notes at the left hand. So that don't fall together, as you can see, that's not really. So if we play very, very slow, we're going to hear something like that. concept, I don't think Chopin really wanted to do polyrhythmical. I think he just wanted to create something that was so romantic that the hands were not really fall together. So he doesn't want the hands to... All these versions were not great for him, but it was too heavy, too flat, so he does... Like that, we don't really understand how the hands fall together, and that's the point. The point is to make it blurry. So that's the first part, and that section will end with the big... Once again in here, these are main chords, but we have the little ornament. And repeat. Repeat. And now from C sharp minor, gonna go to C sharp major, because C sharp major has a lot of sharps at the key. We transform that into D flat major, but D flat C sharp on the piano, same note here. And once again you recognize again that chord that extended from here to here, okay? And from this, it's gonna go to a melody called moderato cantabile. Before that, to slow you down, it says largo. We're not on an allegro agitato anymore. Sotto voce, so soft. This middle section is going to be in 3 distinctive parts. Is we have an A that goes through a transition, then brings it back to A. But the second time, A will go transition, it's going to go back to B. And then we're going to go back to A, then back to B. Each of these sections is going to create little differences. And these little differences is the concept, again, of bel canto, embellishment. So the first time, we have a bass of D flat, which is the tonic. And here we have 2 choices. We can show the top, or we can show the bottom at the left end. I don't know if you remember what I did, but I'm trying to do these things differently every time. Then comes the second section. It ends like this. And now we have A again, but as you notice, the A has an A flat at the base. It's not a D anymore. So back to A. So here we can do more left hand. And we can hear that now they are added notes. The first time we have. And here we have. So now we go to B, that second section after that transition. Here's B. Back to A. And once again, different left hand again. The first time we had this bass of D flat. The second time we have a bass of A flat. And now the third time we have, then we have a bass of E. So the first time we had D flat, D flat, D flat. Second time we have A flat, A flat, D flat. And now we have A flat, E flat, D. With small changes that makes that when there's repetition, it doesn't sound as much as a repetition. The way I like to play this middle section is that it comes from something that's very agitated. And it's gonna count down, count down, count down, kind of disappearing. And there's gonna be like a reverie. It's gonna be like a dream. And that's how I like to end this section. It says ritenuto, so slow down. It's disappearing, and now from this, come back to the beginning. And we kind of slowly go back to that allegro agitato, which resemble exactly the first allegro agitato. There are no differences. We're gonna end up. The first time we went to the middle section, which was that, and here we're gonna do. huge dynamic difference. After all that, disappear no left hand, just something that's very slowly flowing like a little river. Like a little reminiscence of what happened in that middle section. And it's gonna end up. So very quietly. Let's hope that my explanation will make you enjoy this second listening of this impromptu even more. I hope you enjoyed even more this Fantaisie-Impromptu by Chopin. Once again, Liam, I'm very proud of you. Don't forget to subscribe right there. Just click on the little button in here because I have plenty of pieces that young pianists can play. Let me remind you of my music camp that will be from July 8th to July 16th in Joinville, the outskirts of Paris, and from July 24th to 31st, 2023 in Bruges, Belgium. Hope to see you all there. Piano, violin, cello, and yoga for musicians and physical therapy for musicians. Do not miss these amazing moments. You can follow me on all the social media, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or on my website as it shows underneath, www.laurentboukobza.net. And of course, I'll wait for all of your comments on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon for more pieces, which I hope you will enjoy a lot. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.